But I want to talk a little bit about what we have here also in our midst, and very exciting season that we had at Ottawa Hills, the boys basketball program. And we were excited by what we experienced, but we were not surprised. We were encouraged by what we saw, but we were not surprised. We were inspired by what we felt, but we were not surprised. We were just proud of what they represented. But again, we were not surprised. And I'll tell you why we were not surprised. And that was because a few years ago, we placed in position over at Ottawa Hills a varsity leader. Again, a few years ago when we embraced and unveiled this concept of K-12 development, Coach Van Mayfield was one of the varsity coaches that quickly embraced it and went to work in developing what his master plan would be for K-12 development. He assembled a group of young men that are par none to any in the state in terms of how they have developed in his program, how they have represented themselves, their family, and their school at Ottawa Hills in terms of being awesome student athletes in the classroom, in the community, as well as on the court. Van also took to heart that whole concept of K-12 development and started quickly developing what should happen prior to Ottawa Hills. And if you remember, a few weeks ago, we had an 8th grade city championship basketball team here. That's under Coach Van Mayfield. Those are his kids that are coming through the system that he is firmly on top of. If you come out to Ottawa Hills on Saturdays, while we have the elementary season going on, you will see Coach Mayfield at Ottawa Hills with our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students and his varsity players teaching skills and drills and officiating games.
Wow.
They have really embraced the family of school concept, and he holds it together extremely tight. He is very involved in what happens after the season, which is sometimes can be critical in terms of development and how it continues. And so with that, we're starting to see some of the fruit of that whole thinking behind what it means to look at a system from kindergarten to college. And we're really appreciative of that. And so what has happened this season, we have had a very good and successful, and they'll get a chance to talk a little bit about that, very good on-season record, as well as some accomplishments that were postseason that we're also going to acknowledge on tonight. I want to give Mr. Marcus Harris, the athletic director there, a chance to comment on the program, as well as Mr. Mayfield, before we introduce you to the actual team.
Thank you, President Lanier, board members, Superintendent Ms. Neal. Again, like Mr. Johnson had mentioned, our Coach Mayfield, along with the whole varsity basketball coaches, Coach Gay, Coach Noble, and all of those coaches had done a tremendous job. Coming into the season, for one, I was very excited. Me being a basketball person, I knew how hard the players had worked, not only our varsity, but our freshman and JV teams as well. So it was a successful season overall. Just a little bit of the accomplishments. The freshman team, coached by Darren Adams, who's here with us, finished with a 16-2 record, finished second place in the conference. The JV team, junior varsity team, coached by Erskine Stanley, who's also with us, finished with an 18-1 overall record, finished first place in the conference, tied with South Christian. And along with the varsity, who had a very successful season as well, went 13-1 in the conference, won the conference, 16-4 overall, won a district championship for the first time, I believe, since 1997, and also played in a regional final game last week for the first time since 1997. So it was all because of hard work. I know personally, seeing these guys, the varsity team, the JV team, how much work they put in the classroom, in the weight room, conditioning, and don't complain. So it was all a part of hard work. Like I said, the coaches, Coach Mayfield, Coach Gay, Coach Noble, done a tremendous job, and we definitely look forward for success in the future as well.
Thanks.
I'll turn it over to Coach Fan.
Thank you, President Lanier, board members, Superintendent O'Neill. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, for those kind words. One thing I want to say is that really proud of Ottawa basketball right now. As a program, we went 53-7. It's actually a little bit more than even our goal, in a sense, which is my personal goal. So I was very happy with that. It's probably the first time I sat at a bench with none of my coaching staff, so I kind of feel a little different right now. But I'm really, really proud of the young men at Ottawa Hills. You know, they put a lot of hard work in. If you think about today, going back a year, that's how long they've been working, running cross country, playing in shootouts. They probably played about 20-some games in the summertime. I think we lost about 3 or 4 games. A lot of those teams that we lost to are actually still playing, so it's kind of hard for me to talk about this right now. But and it's a tough moment. When you come out of a game like our last game, our goal was obviously to win the conference, then win the districts, and then win the regionals, and go on and win a state championship. And, you know, fell short a little bit, a few games. But to come out of the locker room, going out on that court, felt real confident. Kids played really, really hard. And then after the game, to come up a little bit short, not on my end. I felt like they did all they could do. I was so proud of them. But to go in the locker room and see kids laid out on the ground crying, seniors, it's tough. So when they talk about coaching, it's a little more than just X and O's and all of these things. You start building a relationship with not only them. I really commend their parents that I've known for 4 years, that's been by their side, by our side, by Ottawa's side, helping them. Without them, a lot of this couldn't have been done. So it's been a lot of work that's been done that's behind the scenes. They always say, you know, a high school kid, one of the most memorable moments is outside of the classroom. So a lot of those memorable moments, that regional championship game, I'm sure they'll remember as well as I'll remember. It doesn't take nothing from the hard work that they put in all year, the things that they've done. You don't imagine going to seeing a cross-country team when you got 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", running cross-country. You don't see that too often. But these guys were there every day, running 3 to 4 miles a day, running 3.1 miles in the meets. Actually started liking it and had to pull them away from it a little bit. Said we had to do a little basketball. But I think that's what gave them their endurance. I had 3 all-conference basketball players, which I don't think would happen in a long time. One honorable mention. At one point in time, at the beginning of the school year, had 8 to 10 3.0 students, which I know ain't been a long time since I've been there. So it's a lot to be proud of, and I really, really want to thank the parents, because I think a lot of time we always say, you know, it's the parents' fault, it's the parents' fault for not raising kids. Well, you know what? This time it was the parents' fault for helping me be successful.
That's right.
And I really appreciate that. Lastly, I don't want to forget my guys over there. I mean, these guys come in Saturdays, Sundays, practice. They do anything I ask them to do. Sometimes they do I think they don't want to do, but they do them anyway. And I really appreciate it. Coach Gay, Coach Erskine Stanley, Coach Darren Adams, Coach Noble, Coach Selman. I mean, when you talk about a staff, you have to really have a staff, which you guys all know, to help you be successful. So a lot of stuff that was done is not me. It's these guys over there, and it's those young men out there. That's what got it all done. So I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart. Mr. Kurt Johnson and Mr. Harris. One thing that Huey Brown always said at one of the clinics was, you got to be best friends with your AD. That's the first thing to be successful. We get along really well. And Mr. Johnson, I want to do a special recognition. If some of the Force guys could stand up, please. Ms. Hill, Coach Hill.
That's right. Good job.
These are some of the 8th graders at Alger that, that worked hard as well. And I tell you what, it's been really tough these last few days. It's a tough loss. I know it's been tough for the kids. But when you go into the elementary school, the first thing I did was went to middle schools Thursday and Friday. And that kind of juvenates you a little bit to kind of smooth the pain over a little bit. But I want to kind of introduce some of my guys, some of the guys that really stuck out, if that's possible. Number 1, Troy Jamerson.
All right, Troy.
I'm saying the numbers because you guys probably only remember the numbers because of some of the game, but 10, Dwayne Gordon. Number 20, Aaron Stewart. '45, Antonio Cole. Daquan Brown. Tevin Williams. Madison Taylor. Anton Wilson. The captains of the team, Darryl White. Shakur Saunders. Jalen Williams. Can I get some of the freshmen in JV to stand up, please? I really thank you guys for honoring these guys. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
We'd like to have the parents and the coaches to stand so we can recognize you as well.
Right.
You can stand, parents.
So,
Parents and coaches.
all the parents stand up. We would actually like you to meet this varsity squad up close and personal. So all the way from 2205 Rosewood, from our high school that sits majestically on the southeast side at Burton and Rosewood, led by Principal Rodney Lewis, Athletic Director Marcus Harris, and varsity coach Van Mayfield. We would like you to stand to your feet and give a rounding round of applause to the 2011-12 OK Conference Gold Championship and District A Basketball Boys Varsity Basketball Championship. Come on, let's stand up and give them a round of applause. Varsity. Thank you. If the varsity squad can come on down and shake hands right here at the end.
Van, you still you can go on, Van.
Congratulations.
Good job, man.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congrats. Congratulations.
Colleagues, any questions or comments?
There's
for-
one more thing
Oh,
Dan
I'm
wants.
sorry. Okay.
I want to add one last thing. First year I was here, I was 4-16, and you know everybody's all over you. This year we were 16-4, and there was one guy that believed in me that I knew from the bottom of my heart, and that was Rodney Lewis, my principal.
That's right. Good job.